God bless you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the iGame, the Illegitimate Game. This is Brother Derek. I'm still here talking about Jesus. Still here talking about life and trying to shine light because we need more light and live in a world with more light. We also produce a world with less excuses and less anxiety because the opposite of knowledge is fear. So the more knowledge we get, the less we live in fear and we have nothing to be afraid of except nothing. So it sounds like a bar, it sounds like I'm rapping and creating a riddle, but it's really not. When you have more knowledge, there's nothing to be afraid of except not having enough knowledge. So just keep walking in knowledge and seeking knowledge. And something I'm always doing is reading because there's enough fear out here. And I've wasted enough years of my life ducking and dodging fear. And fear has ruined a lot of my dreams. Fear has ruined a lot of my relationships. Fear has wasted a lot of time. Fear has cost me a lot of money. So if you always pursue knowledge, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's like, what you focus on is what you get. So, focus on your dreams, focus on your goals, or you can focus on your problems. And if you focus on your problems, you're just gonna end up with more problems. And then when you're confronted with that reality, the first thing we do is make excuses and become defensive. So I said all that to say this. If you really want something, you're gonna do it, you're gonna try it, you're gonna go for it. If there's something in this life you really want or need, nothing's gonna stop you from achieving that goal. Nothing's gonna stop you. Unfortunately, it's the motivation that usually gets you to that breaking point. Because once you're at the breaking point, you have to go because you can't look back because there's nothing behind you. It's kind of like that old, it wasn't the Vikings. I think it was I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Greek. No, it wasn't the Greeks. It might have been a Spanish sailor. But the Spanish captain, they knew they had to take over this island. So when all the soldiers jumped off the boat, he burned the boat. And he said, we have to win the war because we can't go back. And the way he motivated all the soldiers was by burning the boat. They were stuck on that island. So he's like, look, we have to kill these people and take over this island because we can't leave now. We don't have a boat. Now, that's extreme, of course, but sometimes I believe God could orchestrate a moment in your life where you have nothing to go back to. And that dream you had, you have to go pursue that dream now. So, there's two ways to look at it. Either you really didn't want it, or you just needed the motivation because of fear. And like I said before, fear is a lack of knowledge. So sometimes God has to push you and motivate you. Like me in my personal life, there are decisions I made early because I had a son. I was a father at 21. So there were certain things I just had to do now because I'm a father. So I'm gonna use this one testimony from a football player just to explain to everybody else and to show you that if you really want it, you can do it. If you really want it. But there was this football player, Damon, let me read it real quick. Damon Sheehy Giuseppe. He was a football player in the preseason for the Cleveland Browns in 2019. Now he plays for the minor league teams. He went to the XFL for a minute. Then he went to the Canadian League for a minute. But Damon Sheehy Giuseppe, you can look it up. He was on YouTube, he was on NFL Network. He made a real good name for himself. But he was unemployed and he was homeless. And he was sleeping at gyms and he was sleeping at laundromats. And he got into a desperate situation. But he loved football and he played football for a small college called Phoenix College. This man was unemployed and he was also homeless, and he tried out for a professional football team, and he actually made the practice squad against all odds. So if somebody could be homeless and unemployed and walk on the football field with nothing but heart and determination and desperation to make the team, what's stopping you from pursuing your goals? Do you need an extreme motivation like homelessness? Do you need an extreme motivation like being unemployed to go do what you know you're supposed to be doing? What do you need to motivate yourself? Like, how much suffering do you need before you get up and go? Now, of course, this is not for everybody. Some of you are pursuing your goals and dreams. Some of you are in school right now. Be proud of yourself. Keep going. I know it's not easy, but keep going. Some of you are working in your career field, came in with an entry-level job, you want to move up. Keep going. That's good. That's great. But there are also people who for a fact When you wake up in the morning, there's an idea on your mind that you haven't embarked on. When you go to bed at night, you can't even sleep because you know you have unfinished business. And one definition of stress is unfinished business. So what is it going to take to motivate you? Because if you see this man's story, it takes away all of our excuses. Damon Giuseppe went to the NFL, which is almost an impossible fraternity to get into, and he actually made it. And this man was homeless. He did it all by himself. No food, no money, no support, nothing. He just showed up and said, I'm going. And he made the practice squad. He even scored a touchdown in one of the preseason games. And everyone on the team celebrated for him because they knew his background. He motivated 100 other men to be great. Because some of you are cursed by having too much. You have too much food, you have too much support, and you have a place to go back to if you fail. And because you have a place to return to after failure, you fail. Because it's comfortable, it's easy. If you know you have a backup plan, sometimes you don't give 100%. And yeah, I've done that before too. But one of the tricks is, I explain this to both my sons, what do you really want? Because if it's something you really want, nobody's gonna have to wake you up to go and get it. So what do you really want? What is God telling you to do? And what are you running from? Because what is that? I mean, think about it. Get a sheet of paper and write it down. What is that one thing you really want? Can you define it? And number two, what do you need to get there? And number three, why? Why do you want it? And it's so easy to say, yeah, I just want money. I just want money. No, you don't. You spend money every day. So if you really wanted money, why are you spending the money that you already have? Buying stuff you don't even need. So we always tell that lie. I just want money. I just want money. But then you go and spend $10 on a coffee. No, you don't want money. Because if you wanted money, you wouldn't be spending $10 on a cup of coffee. So we live with these lies. So your one goal ain't money. Because people who want money don't spend $10 on a cup of coffee. That's not what they do. They go to Walmart and get a whole gallon container and they make their coffee at home. Because people who want money don't spend it. So what do you really want? Maybe you want freedom. I want freedom. Okay, so how are you going to get it? What do you need to get it? And then why do you want freedom? What do you want to be free from? Do you want to be free from responsibility? You want to be free from anxiety? You want to be free to do what you want to do? It's like, sometimes when people say they want freedom, they just want their responsibilities to go away. But you have to know what you really want. So when I hear stories like Damon Giuseppe making that football team with nothing, it lets me know I could do anything in this world if I really want to, if I put the same heart into it. And especially if the boats are burned and I have nowhere else to go. Because when you have nowhere else to go, you fight harder. And according to that story and that legend, those men took over that island because the boat was burned and they couldn't get off. So does God have to burn the boats for you to go and achieve your dreams? What's your motivation? What do you really want? What are you willing to put 100% into? Like, learn to live a life with no excuses. But I would encourage you, what do you want? Start writing it down. What do you really want? Sometimes you don't even, I had this conversation before, but sometimes you don't even want it. You just saw it on Instagram and somebody else had it. Like, I remember when Dubai became this place to go. All of a sudden, I wanted to fly to Dubai. I really didn't want to go to Dubai. I just seen other people's pictures and videos in Dubai, and now I'm curious. I saw these people on the back of camels, and I saw these people on four-wheelers in the desert, and it was cute. Now I want to go to Dubai. No, I don't. I really don't. I just seen somebody else with it. So don't get caught up in that delusion and that imagination, too. Because sometimes you chasing stuff because somebody else had it, but you really don't want that. Like the life of these rappers and rock stars. It looks cute, but you don't want that lifestyle either. So find out what you really want. Go sit somewhere and pray. And when you hear stories about people like Damon Giuseppe make it to the NFL with nothing because he went with all heart and a little bit of desperation, how much can you accomplish with heart and a little bit of desperation? How could you change your life in 90 days? What do you really want? Peace.